A new chapter begins for EastEnders Julie as she steps into an unplanned opportunity. In recent storylines, the 90s favourite reconnected with her long-separated husband Nigel Bates, who had once left both their marriage and their life in Scotland after hiding his dementia diagnosis from her. Julie later packed her things and returned to Walford to live with Nigel at Phil Mitchell's home, though tensions quickly rose as she frequently clashed with Phil about Nigel's care. Now appearing to settle in for good, last week showed Julie preparing to sit an interview for a teaching role at Walford High. By Monday's episode, an overjoyed Julie announces that she has secured the position and will soon begin working at the school. Yet her appointment unexpectedly pulls her into the ongoing teenage incel plot surrounding Joel Marshall. Since arriving in Walford earlier this year, Joel has displayed disturbing actions, secretly filming himself with Avani Nandra Hart during sex without her consent, and later harassing a woman on the underground. His father, Ross Marshall, has failed to control his son's growing misogyny, and in recent episodes Joel targeted Stacey Slater online, while also lashing out violently at Ross's partner, Vicky Fowler. Upcoming moments reveal Vicky's rage when she discovers Joel has ditched school to attend a podcast hosted by a toxic influencer he idolizes online. Weary of Joel's constant behavior, Vicky turns to Julie for support, and Julie agrees to speak with him. She tries to challenge Joel on his sexist views, but with no idea of how dangerous he truly is, could Julie unknowingly become his next victim? EastEnders hints at Zoe Slater's possible departure as her troubled history resurfaces. The soap will soon show Zoe Slater's return home after being accidentally shot by Jack Branning, leaving her fighting to survive. Longtime viewers know that Zoe recently shocked everyone with a comeback to Albert Square, where she was reunited with her mother, Kat Moon. The shooting took place when Jack wrestled with dealer Ravi Gulati over a gun in the Square Gardens, only for the weapon to fire and strike Zoe. A run of dramatic flashbacks then revealed Zoe had secretly given birth to twins in 2006, once had a romance with Max Branning, and believes she killed a man named Greg. Upcoming episodes will deal with the fallout from the gun incident, and things don't look good. On Monday, 15th September, Zoe is still deeply unsettled by the trauma, though police assure her she wasn't deliberately targeted. The Slater family are thrilled to welcome her home, but Zoe quickly storms off to the cafe, where her day spirals further. There, she faces a furious Vicky Fowler, who blames her for Den Watts' death, until Kathy Beale and Anthony Truman step in to calm things. But Vicky refuses to drop the issue and later corners Zoe at the Albert, sparking a heated showdown. Later, back at the Vic, Zoe discovers Freddie and Big Mo have let slip details of her shooting, which have now been published in the local paper, leaving her exposed to danger. Soon after, Zoe makes a phone call to someone from her past, but the identity remains a mystery. As the week continues, Zoe warns that her presence has endangered her family, despite Kat and Anthony's attempts to comfort her. Terrified, she begins packing to leave, while Stacey pleads with her to stay. When Stacey learns about Greg, she goes to Jack for help, but he refuses to get involved. Finally, Zoe confesses that she once fought violently with Greg and fears she may have killed him. Unsure of the truth, Stacey insists they must find out, and together they head to Greg's house. But the question remains, is he still alive? Ex-EastEnders favourite Shona McGarty hints at possible comeback with open-ended remarks. Former EastEnders actress Shona McGarty has suggested she could one day reprise her role, admitting in a candid interview that the door is open. The 33-year-old left the BBC soap last year, bringing an end to her 16-year run as Whitney Dean. Shona first joined the cast in 2008 as a teenager, playing Bianca Jackson's adopted daughter. Over the years, Whitney was at the centre of some of EastEnders' most dramatic plots, most notably being groomed by Bianca's fiancé Tony King, and later embarking on a fling with Mick Carter, played by Danny Dyer. Her departure storyline saw Whitney head to Wakefield with her daughters Brittany and Dolly to live with her brother Ryan. The move came after Whitney discovered her husband, Zach Hudson, had cheated on her, and her exit was marked by the iconic Julia's theme, as she and her children left Walford on the bus. Since moving on from the square, Shona has stepped into theatre, making her West End debut as pin-up icon Betty Page in Queen of the Pin-Ups, the musical, and is now also pursuing a career in music. Although more than a year has passed since her last episode, the star hasn't closed the door on returning to the soap that made her famous. Speaking to The Sun, she said, "I feel so free now, but I do miss my EastEnders family. 16 years is a lifetime. It really felt like walking away from home." Asked if she regretted leaving, she replied, "No, because I'd thought about it for a while. Whitney went through so many ordeals, and I felt it was time for a pause. For me and for her. I wanted to try new things, but when I watched the 40th anniversary live episode, I sobbed. Watching Lacey Turner, Stacey Slater, was incredible. I remembered doing the 30th live show and that amazing team spirit. I was so proud of that, so it hurt not being part of this one." She went on, "But the door is open. People keep asking when I'll go back. I'm not ready just yet, but when the time feels right for Whitney to return, I'd love to." Several familiar faces have already returned recently, including Michelle Ryan as Zoe Slater and Jake Wood as Max Branning. For now, Shona says she's happy tuning in as a viewer, joking that Whitney left on the bus, not under it. EastEnders star addresses fan calls for long-awaited return. Jo Joyner has finally spoken out about the possibility of reprising her role as Tanya Branning on EastEnders. The actress played Tanya for 7 years before leaving the soap in 2013, returning briefly for the 30th anniversary in 2015, and making her most recent guest appearance in 2018. This year has seen changes in Walford's Branning clan, with Pierre Moulier joining as Oscar and Jake Wood returning as Max after a 4-year break. These developments have sparked speculation among fans about Tanya making a comeback, but Joyner told Amy Hart on the Mums Club podcast that it isn't happening anytime soon. Hart asked, "Are you going to finish my Branning's Happy Families card game? You're the last one." To which Joyner responded, "Not this year. Never say never, but I've got a busy schedule, so no." Although a return looks unlikely in 2025, EastEnders team remain hopeful for the future. Executive producer Ben Wadey praised Joyner, saying, "She's amazing, isn't she? We've got Max and Zoe back, and an incredible ensemble of talented performers who all deserve their stories." Scott Maslin, who plays Joyner's former on-screen brother-in-law Jack, added, "We need a bit of mischievous Max first, don't we? He needs some time back before Tanya can come and set him straight." Meanwhile, Jacqueline Josser, Tanya's daughter Lauren, revealed she has been texting Joyner to gauge interest in a potential return, hinting that a comeback could be possible in 2026 or later. EastEnders airs Mondays to Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One and BBC iPlayer.